All right, so I'm going to go over how to capture and save some rendered views for your project. First thing you want to make sure of is that you're capturing these views from your camera itself. And so a quick way to do that is to select your camera over here in your outliner, and you can middle mouse click or hold and drag out here. And now I'm in my camera mode. If you don't have your outliner open, you can click right here and open and close your outliner and find that. And again, that's also handy if you want to change back to perspective. You can select perspective and middle mouse, click and hold and drag out here. And now I'm in perspective mode. So quick little tip on choosing your different views. What we need to do is make sure that our scene is ready to be rendered, which means you've got adequate lighting, your backdrop is there, your camera is set up, which as I'm scrubbing on the timeline, my camera is moving around that circle. So that works perfectly. And with within 120 frames, it does one full rotation, which is good. So what I'm going to do is set up my camera to be right here. And this is going to be my first view that I want to capture. I'm going to make sure that my quality of my image is set up correctly. And I want to click on my render settings here. And I want to make sure that I'm in Arnold Renderer right here on the top. And I'm going to scroll down to where it says image size. I'm going to make sure that my preset here is set to HD 1080. That's the size of the image that I want. Everything else can remain the same. I'm going to hit close. Now I'm going to test my render, make sure everything shows up the way it should. So I'm going to hit this IPR right here. And it's going to take a second as it renders this out. All right, so it rendered it out. I paused it and restarted. So it took 23 seconds at that resolution using my GPU, which is good. Now, the view that I've captured here is the same view that I'm looking at here. You can see it's slightly different though because of how much space is on the top and the bottom here. So to get a good idea of how much space you're actually rendering in this view, you can go up here on the top of your viewport, and there's a little button here that has a little blue circle inside the rectangle. And when you hover over that, it says resolution gate, which is what I want to show. So now it shows me my 1920 by 1080 resolution that I set wrapped around my view here. And that's the same view as what I see right here. I want to save this. I want to make sure that your lighting also is set up really nicely as well. You should be able to see good details as far as like highlights and shadows and textures and things like that. I'm going to go to File, Save Image. Make sure that I'm saving it somewhere in my my drive, your personal drive, not on the computer itself, but on your student drive. And I'm going to save it over this one right here that's titled 1. So I'm going to make sure your first one, just number it 1 and hit save. And I want to replace that, yes. So now I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to change this to my next view, which I'm going to scrub this around and choose that view right there, kind of another 3/4 view. And I'm going to hit IPR. I'll let this render this frame. All right, so that is rendered out. It took 24 seconds, and it tells me all the same information down here. I'm going to save this. And I'm going to save this one as number 2. I'm just going to replace the one that I already have here, and then I'm going to hit save. I'm going to close that down. And we'll rotate to my final image, which is going to be a full kind of front image of my model like that. So I'm going to go to IPR, let it render it out. And voila, movie magic. Mine is magically rendered out. I'm going to do File, Save Image, and I'm going to save mine as number 3 and just replace what I have here. All right, so those 3 images that have been saved are part of what I need to turn in. Should you have other details that you want to show off for other views for your character, then you can capture those as well and submit those as extra, because that goes into showing me like more effort that you put into your model, perhaps in different parts of your um, character than what you can see just from the front side. So you're more than welcome to create more renderings and save those images for assignments. So there we go. And until next time, see you then.